In this video, we'll take a look at real users' reports of the battery life of the base S23. Instead of using just one reviewer's specific use case as your only frame of reference, I want to take a look at how long different users' batteries lasted with various apps and scenarios. This way you can find at least one situation that would be similar to your use case, and then you can get a better idea of what battery life you can expect. The phones are due to go on sale on February 17th, however, it appears that availability varies by location and that many users, rather than simply reviewers, have had their phones in hand for at least a few days. A few channels have published their battery drain tests, allowing the phones to go from 100 to 0 in one stretch while performing various activities. They are useful for reference but not so helpful for estimating daily battery life because that's not how the average person uses their phone. Let's move on to the actual battery results. This is just the base S23 and they've posted in a screen on time of 8 hours. 8 hours for the smallest phone in the series with the smallest battery. Check out the apps he's been using. Given that all he did was browse the internet, view some YouTube videos, check his emails, and test the camera for around 10 minutes, I would classify this as light to moderate use. This is extraordinary in every way. This was personally impossible, in my opinion, on the old base S22. On that phone, my maximum screen on time on Wi-Fi with light use was 5 hours, and it decreased to 4 hours if I use 4G or 5G. And just for reference, I had an Exynos variant. The S23 offers a tremendous improvement in battery life over the S22 thanks to the new chip. However, bear in mind that this is presumably on Wi-Fi, so if your use case is largely on data, the screen on time will be lower, and the screen on time will be even lower if you're in an area where the phone has to work harder to get a signal. And here's another with roughly 10 hours of screen on time for the S23, which was on Wi-Fi and used very lightly. This time it was only for some Reddit and Google Play Store used, perhaps when setting up the phone and downloading all the apps. This is another with 3 hours and 30 minutes screen on time at 50%, and extrapolating to 0 would be approximately 7 hours, and according to him this is on 85% Wi-Fi and 15% data. His usage consisted primarily of Twitter, YouTube, and Chrome, and he claims that the S23 may have longer battery life than the S22 Ultra, and he's a well-regarded tech YouTuber. This statement might seem bold, but it's supported by my earlier video on the battery test by tweakers.com. In comparison to the S22 Ultra, the S23 performs 12% better on the Wi-Fi surfing test, 7% better on the 4G test, and nearly 8% better on the video playback test. However, there is another screenshot where there are only 3 hours of screen on time, and it appears that the user has only really used Spotify in the background. Doesn't appear to have used any other significant apps. Might be a bug with Spotify, maybe, so please let me know if you guys have experienced anything like this in the comments below. And finally, this is screen on time for the S23 running on 5G with 15% remaining. Since this is the first day he has had the phone, it will be performing a lot of indexing to understand his usage patterns as well as transferring and installing all of his apps. In terms of his use case, he has primarily just watched some YouTube and used some Uber, which will be using some GPS, but this is definitely on the lower side for screen on time. Additionally, the new phone has a light mode that, according to Golden Reviewer, cuts the battery consumption by 40% while increasing efficiency by up to 50%. Just in exchange for a 10% performance drop. The amazing thing, according to Samsung Fold users who have already had this feature activated for some time, is that it doesn't reduce the refresh rate or hinder the phone's performance or smoothness at all. This has no impact on gaming as well, as the phone will automatically increase its speed and clock speed when it recognizes that you are playing a game. The last few percent of the phone's peak performance come at a really high power consumption, which is not worth it for the reduction in battery life in most circumstances. This is one of the coolest features ever because we don't need the chips to be running at full throttle in day-to-day use. I hope that you all have a better understanding of what to anticipate from the base S23 in terms of battery life, and if you liked the video, I would really appreciate if you would like and subscribe because it really helps a new channel like mine. And I'll link the individual Reddit posts in the description below so that you guys can look at the conversation and, if necessary, get some more context. Thanks for watching.